A new day dawns, and with it, the opportunity to draw closer to God. Lift your heart in gratitude for the gift of life, and come closer to the Lord, seeking strength for the challenges and protection for every step under His care. There is peace and direction in this prayer of faith and surrender. May it mark your path with hope and purpose. This morning, Lord God, here I am at the start of a new day, with a heart awakened and my gaze fixed on your unfailing goodness. Thank you for the breath that fills my lungs, for the light that begins to paint the sky, and for the certainty that your faithfulness is renewed over me like the dew that refreshes the earth. I come to you just as I am, with my strengths and my limits, with my dreams and my fears, and I offer this morning to you that under your guidance it may become a path of peace, protection, and strength. You know every corner of my heart, every thought I try to organize, every worry that knocks on the door of my mind. Therefore, I place in your hands my plans and steps, knowing that under your care I will walk safely. Beloved Father, I declare that you are my refuge and my strong tower. In your name, I find direction, and in your word, I find the lamp that lights my decisions. Like the traveler who finds his way with the first light of dawn, I seek your face so that I may not stray. Like the farmer who trusts in the seasons of sowing, I trust in your timing and your promises. If shadows appear, let your light remind me that I am not alone. If contrary winds rise, let your firm hand hold me, so I do not succumb to discouragement. I want to begin this day with a grateful heart, because gratitude opens doors where fear builds walls, and praise changes my perspective to see opportunities where I once saw obstacles. Thank you, Lord, for the battles I didn't see, for the quiet care that surrounded me while I slept, for the angels you send to guard my comings and goings. Thank you for my family and the people with whom I share the journey. Bless them with health, peace, and purpose. Allow me to be an instrument of encouragement and not complaint. May my words be seeds of life, and my attitude be a testimony of the hope you give me. As I cross paths with others, may I reflect your goodness through simple gestures, timely advice, and an outstretched hand. Today, I choose not to live in haste or under the weight of anxiety. I choose to live from your presence, which brings serenity. I surrender to your guidance, so that my schedule may be ordered according to your wisdom, and when things don't go as expected, may I remember that each unexpected turn can become a door to the best you have prepared. If difficult décisions arise, grant me clarité. If there are tasks that seem beyond my strength, grant me inner fortitude. If there are sensitive conversations, place grace on my lips to speak with truth and meekness. Guard my mind from distraction that wears me down, and guard my heart from bitterness that steals joy. Lord, I ask for protection for my path. As a shepherd watches over his flock, watch over me. Remove from my life anything that does not come from you. The traps of discouragement, words that wound, doors that should not be opened. Surround my house with your peace. Cover my steps with your favor. Direct my decisions with your counsel. May your hand be upon me as a shield, and may your peace, which surpasses all understanding, guard my thoughts. Be my guardian as I move forward. Be my shelter when I need to stop and regain strength. Teach me to breathe deeply and to remember that I do not live for applause, but to please you, and in that there is true rest. Today, I rise with the conviction that there is no situation that can separate me from your love. If mountains rise that intimidate me, grant me the faith of the one who says to the mountain, "Move," and trusts in your power. If valleys of uncertainty appear, be my shepherd, guiding me with patience, providing in each stretch what is necessary. Just as the craftsman works carefully with clay on the wheel, work in me, shape my character, and strengthen my convictions. Polish my reactions so that I may respond with wisdom. I want to learn to see challenges as opportunities to exercise perseverance and accomplishments as occasions to give you glory. I present to you my work, my studies, and the responsibilities you've placed in my hands. May I never lack the creativity to solve problems or the humility to ask for help when needed. Grant me discipline to move forward step by step and serenity not to compare myself with others. For each person walks their own process under your gaze. At the end of the day, may I look back and recognize that your grace sustained me in the small and in the great, in what was visible and in what no one saw. If there are doors that must be opened, may it be in your time. If there are doors that must close, grant me acceptance to release them without resentment. Remind me that even when I don't understand everything, you are still sovereign, Lord. I want to consecrate my thoughts to you this morning, that my mind may be a fertile field for truth and not a ground for worry. Help me filter what I hear, what I say, and what I meditate on, so that nothing robs the seed of hope you have planted in me. Give me a brave heart to love, to forgive, to try again, a heart that knows how to ask for forgiveness when it fails, and to give thanks when it receives. May my hands be ready to serve, and my eyes alert to recognize your hand in the details, in someone's smile, in an opportunity that arises, in the calm that comes just in time. And so, Lord, I begin this day under your covering, declaring that you are my strength and my protection. If I feel weak, I will remember that in your power I find sustenance. If I feel insecure, I will remember that your rod and staff give me confidence. I walk with the certainty that I do not walk alone, that your goodness goes before me and your mercy accompanies me. Thank you for listening to me, for receiving me, for renewing me in your presence. My journey aligns, my spirit is strengthened, and my soul is uplifted. Lord, take each minute of this day and make it an offering of gratitude, a testimony of your care, and a story of your faithfulness. Father, this morning I want to recognize your presence as one who opens the window and lets in the fresh air that completely renews the house, just as necessary as your closeness for my heart. Clean the dust of restlessness, draw back the curtains of doubt, illuminate the rooms of my spirit with the light of your faithfulness. I don't need to see you with my eyes to know that you are here. I know because your peace reaches me like a river that finds its course, because your silent and constant word reminds me of your mercies. Your mercies are renewed every morning, and your goodness never runs out. Thank you, Lord, because your presence does not depend on my emotions, but on your promise that remains firm from forever and for eternity. Today, I recognize you as my rock, the safe place where my feet do not slip, where others see instability. I find firm ground in you. Where others only contemplate storms, I discover in you a covered refuge, a house built on the rock that does not break, even when contrary winds blow. You are the high tower where my soul is kept and my mind rests. If anxiety strikes like a wave, you raise over me the barrier of your peace. If decisions seem like a maze, your voice becomes the beacon that guides my steps. Thank you for your goodness that never lets me go. Thank you for your outstretched hand that holds, corrects, and encourages. And if I fall, you lift me up with tenderness, Lord. I recognize your presence in the details I sometimes overlook, in the clarity of the sky that announces new possibilities, in the strength that returns to my hands to work, in the opportunity to rebuild where yesterday there was weariness or mistakes. You are in the conversation that returns hope to me, in the wise advice that comes just in time, in the embrace that comforts, in the door that opens when there seemed to be no way. Your goodness surrounds me like a soft cloak, like fine rain that makes the seed sprout. You never tire of taking care of me, of holding me with patient love, reminding me that I am not the result of chance, but the design of your will and the object of your affection. Today, I want to remember your faithfulness, because to remember is to light a lamp in the midst of darkness. I remember how you have guarded my steps, how you have protected me from stumbling on paths that were not good, how you have provided when my resources seemed to run out. I remember the times your peace sustained me in the midst of uncertainty, when your word was bread for my inner hunger, when your comfort was oil on my wounds. When I look back, I understand that each morning like this was another opportunity to see your goodness in action, to discover that your grace goes before me and your mercy follows me. Lord, today I want to name your goodness as both source and horizon. Source, because from you springs everything good that flourishes in my life. Life itself, health, a clear mind, the affection of those who love me, the work of my hands, the ability to learn and grow. Horizon, because towards your goodness I want to head. I desire to inspire my decisions, to shape my thoughts and my reactions. Let me not become so accustomed to your gifts that I forget the giver. May every breath be a reminder of your active presence. May every challenge become a stage to see your faithfulness move in my favor at the right time. I recognize, Lord, that your presence transforms the way I see reality. When you are at the center, my problems find their real size. My fears lose volume, and my worries lose power. The morning is no longer routine, but a fresh start. Work is no longer a burden, but a possibility. Relationships are no longer a field of constant conflict, but fertile ground to sow patience, meekness, and love. It is you who sweetens the bitter, who measures my steps so that I do not run where I should walk, nor stop where I should move forward. Make my heart learn to breathe in rhythm with your compass, that my words may sound with the melody of your truth. Let my attitude echo your mercy, Lord. Your goodness is like the sun that never forgets to rise. Even when thick clouds cover the sky of my expectations, you keep shining behind, preparing the moment when the light will break through the gray layer and everything will color again with hope. Teach me to wait with calm, to live with the certainty that your care is uninterrupted, that your gaze is not distracted, that your love does not retreat. You are constant where I fluctuate. You are faithful where I waver. You are generous where I become stingy. Thank you for staying, for holding, for embracing. Even when my faith feels small, your arms are larger than my doubts. Your peace is deeper than my worries. Your counsel is wiser than my hasty plans today. Lord, I also recognize your presence as protection. Your goodness not only caresses me but also guards me. You cover me as a shield in my thoughts, so that I am not a prisoner of worry. You cover me in decisions, so that what I bring forth brings life and not weariness. You cover me in my relationships, so that my words build and do not destroy. You are a wall around my house, a fence of peace that rejects confusion, division, and fear. Be the shade that refreshes the traveler in the heat of midday. Be the staff that strengthens the pilgrim when the path inclines where I see risk. Help me see your guarding hand where I feel weakness. Remind me that your power is perfected in weakness. Father, in recognizing your presence this morning, I also recognize my need for you. I need your wisdom to set priorities, your discernment to distinguish the urgent from the important, your temperance to respond with calm, and your compassion to see through your eyes. I need your strength to persevere in what is good when motivation weakens, your courage to speak the truth in love, your humility to accept correction, and your joy to face everyday tasks without losing the meaning. Grant me a new sensitivity to perceive your voice amidst the noise, to discover your footprints in the small details, to give thanks quickly for what I sometimes take for granted. And so, Lord, I surrender this morning to your goodness and rest in your presence. I don't want to walk in haste without listening to you. I don't want to speak much without first hearing your heart. I don't want to be so busy that I forget the purpose for which you gave me this day. May your peace accompany me like a faithful companion. May your word be a compass and provision. May your love remind me of who I am and where I am going. Thank you for your closeness that never abandons, for your mercy that starts again, for your faithfulness that writes over my story. Lines of hope. Today I recognize you, Lord, not only with my lips but with my mind, my decisions, my actions. May everything in me proclaim that you are good, that your mercy endures forever, and that under your gaze this day will flourish. Lord, as I open my eyes this morning, I see the new day as a blank page where your hand has already drawn paths of goodness. I do not come with my own merits. I come with gratitude. I do not come with absolute certainties. I come with trust in your faithfulness. Thank you for this dawn that reminds me that I am not condemned to repeat yesterday, that history can be redirected when I allow you to guide my steps. Today, I want to learn to look at every minute as a seed that I can sow with faith, patience, and love. Every conversation as ground to plant words of life, every decision as an opportunity to choose what is good and just. And so, Lord, my soul is ready to give thanks before asking, to bless before questioning, to recognize your gifts before noticing what is missing. I thank you for the gift of life that is silently renewed in the beating of my heart and in the clarity of my thoughts. Thank you for the rest of the night, for the table prepared with what is necessary, for the strength that returns to my hands to work diligently. Thank you for the challenges that push my character towards maturity, because in them, I discover that your grace sustains, refines, corrects, and strengthens. Thank you for the small opportunities that, when seen through eyes of faith, become great doors. For the delays that seemed like obstacles and turned out to be protections. For the answers that arrived on time, and for those that still await. Because even in the waiting, I learned to hear your voice today, Lord, and see the journey as a workshop where your wisdom shapes my inner being, like the sculptor who sees a hidden masterpiece in the stone. You see in me more than I can see, and with patience, you remove what is unnecessary to reveal what you planned. For this reason, I thank you even for the discomforts that push me to grow, the discipline that organizes my habits, the silence that fine-tunes my listening, the correction that straightens my path, the perseverance that strengthens my will. Allow me to embrace each task without complaint, knowing that I am not working for fleeting approval, but to honor you with what I am and do. May my hands, guided by your counsel, find creative solutions. May my mind, illuminated by your word, discern clearly. May my heart, sustained by your peace, not rush or surrender. Lord, thank you for the people you place in my path. Thank you for my family and for those who share with me joy and struggles, for the friends who hold me up in difficulty and celebrate with me in victory, for those who teach me by example and also for those who challenge my patience, because with them I learn to love with greater maturity. May I be a presence today that builds a bridge instead of a wall, a beacon instead of a shadow. Grant me sensitivity to perceive the needs of those around me, humility to offer a timely word, and prudence to remain silent when necessary. When silence is wiser than advice, may my relationships become fertile ground where your goodness grows and multiplies. I thank you, Lord, for the new beginnings you hide in the ordinary. In the first task of the day, there is a beginning in the kind greeting. There is a beginning in the forgiveness I decide to give. There is a beginning in the goal I pick up again with perseverance. There is another beginning where yesterday there was weariness. Today, there is possibility. Where there was fear, today there is courage that comes from you. Where there was lack, today there is provision that arrives by paths I had not calculated. Teach me to name your gifts, the conversation that brings peace, the door that opens at the perfect moment, the advice that prevents a stumble, the rest that restores my spirit, the opportunity that seemed small but turns into a greater response than expected. Lord, this morning, I also want to thank you for the protection I do not always perceive, but that surrounds me. Thank you for delivering me from hasty decisions, for warning me in time, when a word could hurt, for covering my mind when worry tries to rise like a giant. May your guard extend over my thoughts, so that suspicion does not govern them. May anger not dominate my emotions, and may my steps not be led astray by shortcuts that seem easy, but take me away from what is true. I ask that you teach me to collaborate with your protection by cultivating habits that preserve peace, constant prayer, meditation on your word, gratitude that disarms complaint, honesty that prevents complications, meekness that puts out fires. Thank you for work, for study, for the responsibility that exercises my talents. If today I encounter closed doors, grant me the wisdom to find the right key or to understand that not all doors are meant to open now. If pressures arise, help me breathe at your pace. If the agenda fills up, show me what should come first. If comparison tries to steal my joy, remind me that my worth is not measured by speed, but by faithfulness. Let everything I do today, from the most visible to the most discreet, be an offering of gratitude. And so, Lord, may my disposition be like a sweet incense that rises to you, not for my perfection, but for the sincere desire to honor you in the everyday. I also thank you for the hope you sow for the future. I do not know everything that is to come, but I know who walks with me. Your promises are an anchor when the waters stir, and a watch when the wind beckons to move forward. Allow me to plan sensibly and, at the same time, maintain the flexibility to adjust course without losing peace when I face important decisions. May I not be guided by impulse, but by the light of your counsel. When I feel the weight of responsibility, may I remember that I do not walk alone. When weariness tries to dampen my spirit, may I return to drink from your well to regain strength. And so, Lord, I lift my gratitude for this new day. You inaugurate with your goodness. Thank you for opening my eyes and also opening horizons. Thank you for the opportunities I do not yet see, but that you have already prepared. Thank you for what you will heal, for what you will correct, for what you will strengthen. Make my life a constant testimony that thanksgiving does not deny reality, but rather looks at it with the certainty that your love envelops and transforms it. May my frequent word be thank you, my frequent response be obedience, my frequent gesture be service. And as I close this day, may I say, I walked under your covering, that I chose trust over fear, and that every step was guided by your hand. Good Father, this morning I thank you because when I look at your word, I find a living gallery of men and women who walked under your covering and found strength, even when everything seemed to tremble. And so, my faith is encouraged to trust in your protection for this day. I think of Peter, who in the middle of the night and the wind, dared to take a step out of the boat because he heard your voice. He did not trust in the strength of the sea, nor in the stability of the wood. He trusted in the word you spoke to him. When his gaze shifted to the storm, he began to sink. But when he cried out, you extended your hand and held him. Today, I recognize, Lord, that my morning is like that changing sea. There are the unexpected worries and waves of tasks that threaten to get out of control. However, like Peter, I will respond to your call and walk toward you, knowing that at my cry, your hand will not delay, your help will not fail, and your care will lift me up. I do not want to cling to the boat of my apparent securities. I prefer the obedience that risks itself for your word, for there I find true strength and protection. And I remember, Lord, that in a foreign land, Daniel did not negotiate his faith. And in the quiet of his room, he sought your face with constancy. It was not the absence of trials that distinguished him, but his perseverance in prayer and the integrity of his heart. When he was thrown into the lion's den, his trust did not falter. In the night of the impossible, your custody was manifested, closing the jaws that sought to devour him. I ask you this morning for that same firmness, to uphold my convictions without arrogance, the same discipline to pray regularly, the same serenity to sleep, even when circumstances rage. If the day presents hostile environments or complex decisions, may my soul remember that you are still God in the midst of the pit, that your angel camps around me, and that my life is in your hands. Teach me to live in such a way that, like Daniel, my testimony speaks louder than any accusation, and that my peace is a more eloquent message than my arguments. I also bring to mind Joseph, the son of Jacob, who knew the pit, slavery, and prison, but did not allow bitterness to take root in his spirit. His story teaches me that the dreams you plant go through processes that I don't always understand. You were with him when he was sold. You were with him when he was falsely accused. You were with him when he interpreted dreams in the shadow of the prison. In the end, your wisdom elevated him to manage abundance and sustain many in times of scarcity. Today, Lord, if I find myself in a narrow stretch, if the door I expected does not open, if I must persevere in the small things, let me remember that your faithfulness is working in the areas I cannot see. Give me the meekness of Joseph, not to return evil for evil, the vision to store grain when others mock saving, the generosity to forgive when brothers return hungry. May my day adopt the perspective of a steward, working with excellence, speaking with prudence, waiting with patience, serving with a pure heart. And I think of Esther, placed in a position of influence, not for her personal glory but for the defense of her people. She understood that the favor she received was a commission, and before presenting herself to the king, she sought cover in prayer and fasting. Her courage was not recklessness, but prudence sustained by your guidance. Today, Lord, if you have granted me a voice in my community, if you have given me the possibility to decide, if you allow me to advise or lead, remind me that this position is a service. May I not get lost in vanity or fear. May I discern the opportune moment and the right word. Cover me with your favor, not to exalt myself, but so that justice advances, compassion extends, and your purpose prevails. Give me wisdom to prepare each step and humility to remember that every outcome belongs to your hand. Moses also speaks to me, Lord, of the power of your presence to transform weakness into mission. The man who considered himself slow of speech became the spokesman of liberation, not by his eloquence, but by your companionship. You showed him that the staff he had in his hand could, under your command, open a way where there was only sea. When the people were afraid, you affirmed that you would fight for them, and that they only needed to stand firm. This morning, when I contemplate my limits, I do not want to hide behind them. I want, like Moses, to bring them into your presence and dare to take the step you ask of me. If I face seas of impossibility, I dare to extend my faith and move forward on the ground you will separate. If I lack words, give me clarity. If I have many objections, give me obedience, that in every I can't, your I am with you may appear. I am with you, and that certainty gives me strength and protection. I see David in the valley before Goliath and learn that trust grows when I remember past victories, the lion, the bear, the quiet interventions that forged his courage. It was not Saul's armor that gave him security, but the experience of your help and the skill he had developed. In the hidden place today, Lord, I equip myself with the memory of your faithfulness. I choose the stones of gratitude, sincere prayer, the word that builds, the discipline that strengthens character, and with them, I face giants of fear, comparison, or uncertainty under your covering. My step does not depend on the roar of the adversary, but on the whisper of your guidance. If a loud word tries to paralyze me, remind me that the battle is not mine, but yours, and that you instruct me to advance with serenity and precision. I look at Elijah on the mountain, tired after moments of great tension, and find comfort in your tender care. You did not rebuke him for his exhaustion. You gave him bread and water. You allowed him to rest, and then you called him to hear your voice, not in the noise, but in a soft whisper. This morning, Lord, if my strength is not the same as yesterday, if fatigue weighs more than usual, I ask for your concrete provision, true nourishment in time, a word that refreshes. Teach me to distinguish between the urgent and the essential, not to confuse hyperactivity with fruit, to hear your voice in the simple things. Protect me from the weariness that comes from trying to sustain everything, and remind me that you are the God who nourishes, the one who teaches to walk again toward Horeb, where the mission is renewed. Mary, your servant, inspires me with her grace not as surrender to the inevitable, but as a trusting openness to your will. She did not understand all the details, but she trusted that your word would be fulfilled. This morning, when my plans are not fully aligned, and when the path presents unexpected detours, I say with that same trust, let it be to me as you have said. Give me docility without passivity, promptness without rushing, joy in the small things you entrust me with, and courage to hold on to hope when others grow impatient. Keep me in the simplicity that knows how to guard in the heart what cannot yet be explained, and in the purity of intention that seeks to give you glory above human approval. Paul in prison, praying and singing, reminds me that protection does not always mean the absence of chains, but the presence of inner freedom. At midnight, in the depths of confinement, he chose to lift his voice, and there the earth shook. The doors opened, and others were reached by the light of the gospel. Today, if any circumstance limits my movements, if responsibility confines me, or if a prolonged wait seems to close doors, teach me to worship in the midst of it, to keep my spirit up, to bless with my words those who are near. Your strength equips me to turn the cell into an altar, and the delay into a classroom for maturity. May my attitude open doors that my hands cannot force, and may your peace make light the chains of discouragement. Nehemiah teaches me to pray, plan, and build with one hand on the tool and the other on the watch. He recognized the ruin, wept, fasted, and then set about rebuilding walls with organization and courage, without being diverted by mockery. This morning, Lord, while I raise projects, relationships, or restore damaged areas, Give me the balance of Nehemiah, intercession that holds, strategy that orders, diligent work that progresses in stages, vigilant guarding that does not ignore danger. Place in me a persevering spirit so that I do not abandon the journey halfway, and surround me with people who contribute their hands and hearts, that together we may see the progressive restoration that you inspire. And Ruth, with her silent loyalty, reminds me that sometimes your protection is woven in simple, faithful decisions. Staying by Naomi's side, gathering grain with perseverance, honoring small steps that open the future. There was no spectacle in her journey, but there was integrity that caught your attention and that of those around her. Give me, Lord, that patient faithfulness, getting up early, doing what is right with joy, respecting limits, being just in hidden places, cultivating gratitude in the everyday. Let your favor bloom, and in today's constancy, prepare the encounters that transform the season of tomorrow. May I not despise the field of grain where you have placed me. There too, you cover me, guide me, and bless me. I contemplate Joshua before Jericho, obeying a strategy that seemed absurd, marching, keeping silence, blowing trumpets and shouting at the appointed time. The walls did not fall by human strength, but by your power, working through obedience. This morning, Lord, if there are walls of habits that limit me, fears that condition me, or words that box me in, I want to embrace your guidance, even if it doesn't align with my logic. Teach me to walk in order, to cultivate the silence that listens, to wait for the precise moment to speak with authority under your protection. The walls fall under your strength, the impossible finds a way. Let my faith not just be a concept, but a step, a rhythm, constancy. May my mouth proclaim, in the end, not my skill, but your faithfulness. So, Lord, surrounded by this testimony of your work in so many hearts, I present my morning with renewed confidence. If the sea roars, I remember Peter, upheld by your hand. If the pit appears, I remember Daniel, guarded by your angel. If I must wait, I look to Joseph, managing with wisdom. If I have received influence, I learn from Esther how to use it for good. If I doubt my abilities, I walk with Moses under your presence. If a giant challenges me, I stand with David in your name. If weariness weighs on me, I seek the whisper that strengthened Elijah. If my plans change, I say with Mary, let it be. If a cell limits me, I sing with Paul. If there are ruins to restore, I work with Nehemiah. If the day seems small, I persevere with Ruth. If there are walls ahead, I move forward with Joshua. In all these paths, you remain the same, the Lord who protects, strengthens, and guides. That's why, as I go about my tasks, I breathe deeply and confess that your mercy surrounds me, that your peace guards my mind, and that your hand directs my path. Thank you for being with me, for teaching me with your word, and for turning every example into an impulse to live this day with living faith, constant gratitude, and hope in motion. Lord, today I present to you every area of my life, as one who places on the table what needs to be ordered by wise hands with humility. I recognize that I don't always know how to move forward. That's why I ask for guidance in my decisions, clarity in my thoughts, and serenity in my heart. Put in me a willing spirit to listen to your counsel and the courage to obey it. If options arise that seem brilliant but are not from you, give me discernment to recognize them and the firmness to say no. If instead you offer discreet paths that lead to peace, give me readiness to accept them without fear of the small. Let your word be a lamp to my feet and light to my path. May my will align with yours, so that my steps bear fruit of justice and good. I present my work to you, Lord, what I do with my hands and what I think with my mind. Bless my tasks, projects, and responsibilities. Open doors of opportunity where honest effort has been consistent, and give me creativity to resolve what seems stuck. In the midst of pressure, teach me to prioritize wisely when unexpected things arise. May I not be governed by anxiety, but by trust in your active presence. Protect me from dishonesty, from shortcuts that compromise my integrity, and from the desire to impress rather than to serve. Give me humility to learn from others, generosity to share what I know, and patience to persevere when results are slow. May my daily labor be an offering that rises to you as a pleasing aroma, not for my perfection, but for the sincere desire to honor you in the everyday. I also present my finances to you, Lord, recognizing that all comes from your hand. Teach me to manage with prudence, to distinguish between need and want, to plan sensibly without falling into greed. If there are debts, guide my steps to get out of them with discipline and hope. If my resources are scarce, open paths of dignified provision and deliver me from the anxiety that tightens my chest. Give me a grateful heart in abundance and a trusting heart in scarcity. Teach me to be generous, to share with joy, to sow in good soil with faith in your care. May I never lack bread, shelter, and sustenance, and may I also never forget that the material is a means, not an end, a tool, not my identity. Lord, I place before you my relationships, family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors. Where there are wounds, bring your balm. Where there are misunderstandings, grant humility to clarify with respect. Where there are distances, open bridges of reconciliation. Deliver me from impulsive words that wound and from cowardly silences that prolong discomfort. May my communication be honest and kind, my listening attentive and compassionate, my response calm and full of truth. Help me to see each person as you see them, beyond my prejudices and expectations, and to serve without expecting applause. If I must correct, let me do so with meekness. If I must ask for forgiveness, may I not delay. If I am invited to forgive, let me not withhold the good. Let peace reign in my home, respect at my table, and patience that holds and hope that persists in my bonds. I extend my prayer for my family, Lord. Cover those I love with your protection. Keep their health, minds, and hearts safe. Surround our home with a circle of peace. Let fatigue not make us hard, nor routine make us indifferent. Teach me to give quality time, to celebrate the small things, and to bear burdens together. Bless the children with preserved innocence and wise learning. Strengthen the adults with dignified work and restorative rest. Accompany the elderly with comfort and honor. If there are important decisions to be made, guide our family council so that we may seek your will. If we face losses or fears, be our comfort. And when joy knocks at our door, may we know how to thank you with simplicity and joy. Lord, I ask for your comprehensive protection today. Guard my comings and goings, my paths and my returns. Remove from me the stumbling blocks I do not see, people who seek to harm, circumstances that confuse and distract. Be a shield around me, and place your peace as a sentinel over my mind, so that suspicion and panic do not dominate me. Protect also my digital spaces, my communications, and my online decisions, that at all times I may act with prudence and truth. Teach me to recognize signs of your guidance doors. You close with love, doors you open with clarity, pauses that you inspire to avoid hasty steps. May my heart remain sober, alert, and confident, not because of self-sufficiency, but because of the certainty that you care for those who wait upon you. I also come to you with my emotions. Lord, I know my weaknesses, and I know there are memories that need healing, thoughts that need renewal, reactions that must be transformed by your grace. If my mood has become unstable, if discouragement has gained ground, if guilt accuses me more than it should, I ask for your intervention. Remove roots of bitterness, dry up envy, disarm anger, extinguish resentment, pour out your serene joy, which does not depend on circumstances, your patience that sustains in trials, your hope that looks beyond the present. Renew my mind with truth, so that the lie that exaggerates fears and minimizes your power does not govern me. May my inner dialogue align with your word, and when I speak to myself, may I do so as you would speak to me with clarity, correction, and love. Lord, I place myself in your hands as clay in the hands of the potter. You know the shape you want to reveal in me. If you see cracks, repair them. If you see hardness, soften it. If you see deformation due to old habits, reshape me according to your design. I do not fear your process because your treatment is wise and your intention is good. Sometimes the wheel turns and I feel dizzy. Sometimes the fire of the furnace makes me uneasy, but I trust that you do not leave me alone, and that from the fire I come out firmer, more useful, more aligned with the purpose you dreamed for me. Make me a vessel for honor, not to appear, but to serve, that what you pour into me may be poured out to others, comfort for the one who mourns, encouragement for the one who surrenders, counsel for the one who doubts, mercy for the one who stumbles. I ask you, Lord, for a spirit of temperance and self-control, that my habits may be ordered to favor life. Sufficient rest, balanced nutrition, times of silence to hear your voice, moments of study to grow in practical wisdom, generosity to enlarge the heart. May my body, soul, and spirit work in harmony, sustained by your grace. If there are addictions, deliver me from them. If there are emotional dependencies that bind me, set boundaries for me and establish healthy limits. If there is disorder that confuses my direction, give me gentle but firm discipline. Teach me to celebrate small progress and to get back up when I fall without useless guilt, with responsibility and hope. Father, give me a missionary heart in the everyday. Do not allow the routine to dull me. In every day, may I seek opportunities to sow good. A word of encouragement to the weary companion, a helping hand to the one who is left behind, a silent prayer for the one who suffers beside me. Teach me to be a channel, not a dam, a bridge, not a barrier. May my hands open with generosity, and may my eyes see beyond my personal concerns. And when I lack the strength to love, fill the reservoir. When I lack patience to hold on, expand my capacity. When I lack wisdom to advise, place the right word on my lips. I consecrate, Lord, this day to your care and transformation. I want to walk under your covering, not as one who fears the journey, but as one who trusts the guide. If today I must decide, decide with me. If today I must speak, speak through me. If today I must remain silent, grant me peace in the silence. If today I must wait, teach me to do so with active hope. I ask that you close the doors that are not good for me and open the ones you have prepared. And while I walk through corridors of uncertainty, may your presence be my certainty. Thank you, because you hear me, because you protect me, because you shape me, that when this day ends, I may recognize your faithfulness in every detail, guiding my steps, refining my heart, expanding under your hand. Today, I move forward with conviction. You are my guidance, my protection, and my transformation. Lord, this morning I lift my voice not only for myself, but for those who walk by my side and for those who, even without knowing them, are part of the great human family that you view with compassion. I place before your presence my neighbor, my community, and the nations, because I know your heart inclines toward the one who suffers, the one who carries burdens, the one who cannot find a way out. Extend your mighty and merciful hand, and visit each need with the tenderness that characterizes you and the authority that no one can resist. I intercede for those who wake up today in pain or with diagnoses that frighten them. Lord, you are comfort for the one who groans and strength for the one who falters. Give relief to the sick, calm their pain, direct the health professionals, provide treatments and resources. Open doors for care and close every source of despair. Sustain the caregivers who watch day and night, renew their strength, multiply their patience, surround their homes with peace, so that in the hospital hallways, in the waiting rooms, and in the quiet rooms, your presence may be felt as an embrace that never leaves. And as a light that never dims, I cry out for those who struggle with anxiety, depression, or unspoken fears. Lord, you know the inner battles that are not seen. Breathe your breath of life over the burdened minds. Order the thoughts, calm the emotional storm. Open paths of timely help. Raise up support networks, friends who listen without judging, wise counselors, communities that accompany, leaders who embrace and pray. Break chains of loneliness and shame. And may every person hear deep within their hearts that their life has value, that they are not alone, and that there is still purpose ahead. I intercede for those who are seeking work and cannot find it, for those who wake up with the worry of putting bread on the table. Open, Lord, dignified opportunities. Knock on doors that were thought closed with creative ideas and favor in the interviews. Protect those who go out today to seek employment. Deliver them from deceptions and unjust offers. For those who are starting businesses, give them wisdom to manage, integrity to treat others, and perseverance to withstand difficult days. Provide for households that count coins and turn off lights to save. Let shame give way to hope. Raise generous hands in the community to share with joy, and multiply the resources of those who, from what little they have, decide to sow well. I cry out for families, Lord. Where there is tension, bring dialogue. Where there is hurt, bring forgiveness. Where there is distance, build bridges. Where there is separation, protect the children in their innocence. Protect them from all abuse, all harm, all words that negatively mark their hearts. Strengthen the adolescents in the midst of depression and comparisons. Give them firm identity in your love and friendships that build them up. Accompany the adults in their responsibilities. Give them balance between work and home, and teach them to prioritize what remains. Embrace the elderly with dignity, care, and companionship. May no one feel discarded or invisible. Make our homes workshops of patience and schools of mercy, where faith is lived in the everyday and gratitude is the background tone. I intercede for those who have lost someone and walk with grief. Lord, you count the tears and understand the silences. Be their comfort in memory, rest in the heart, and the certainty that even in the valley of shadow, we are not forsaken. Send timely companionship, words that are neither too much nor too little, embraces that sustain without invading. May hope not be extinguished, and may life with its gentle step bloom again when the time comes. I pray for those who today are on the streets seeking shelter, food, or a human gesture. Awaken, Lord, the compassion of the community to organize creative and sustainable responses, dignified shelters, reintegration programs, training opportunities, and above all, gazes that respect the history of each person. Deliver from addictions, break cycles of violence, open paths of restoration. May your church be hands that serve, feet that arrive, voices that intercede, and hearts that never tire of loving. I intercede for those who live on the margins, migrants, displaced persons, the persecuted, the forgotten. You were a refuge for those who had nowhere to lay their heads. Be today a shadow in the desert, bread on the journey, justice that defends the vulnerable, and moves authorities, organizations, and communities to respond with wisdom and humanity. Let no one be treated as a number, but as a person with a name, history, and future. May policies that protect dignity flourish, and paths of integration that defeat indifference. I cry out for those who administer justice, for those who watch over security, for teachers, caregivers, public servants, and all who, through their work, sustain the life of the community. Give integrity to those who decide, prudence to those who judge, temperance to those who protect, and passion for truth to those who teach. Guard their hearts from cynicism and abuse, and renew their vocation so that the common good becomes the guiding principle. Where there are unjust structures, ignite consciences. Where there is corruption, bring light. Where there is oppression, open ways out. I intercede for the nations. Lord, you know the murmurs of the peoples, the tensions that arise, the interests that clash, and the historical wounds that persist. Pour your wisdom over those who govern, so that justice may not be just a speech, but a practice, that the welfare of the most fragile may be a priority, that truth may not be negotiated for convenience. Inspire decisions that promote peace, quality education, accessible healthcare, dignified work, care for the common home, and paths of reconciliation that end the language of hate. And open space to genuine listening, to dialogue that builds, and to collaboration that multiplies the good. I pray for the faith communities, that we may be salt and light where you have planted us. May we not get lost in the accessories, but open the essential. Love the Lord with all our heart and love our neighbor as ourselves. Give us humility to recognize errors and courage to correct our course. Compassion to include those who think differently, and firmness to uphold the truth with meekness. May our meetings be spaces of healing and sending, and may our streets find us serving, teaching, caring, and announcing hope. Multiply sober leaders and faithful servants, discreet hearts and diligent hands. I intercede for the fabric of society. Lord, for the economy and culture, for science and art, for communication and technology. In all these areas, may human dignity be honored, critical thinking fostered, beauty cultivated, and innovation employed for good. Protect children and young people from harmful content. Strengthen projects that educate and ennoble. Inspire creators to tell stories that heal, researchers to seek truths that help, communicators who speak with clarity and respect. May a common voice rise against violence, deceit, and exploitation. And in their place, may honesty, truth, and solidarity grow. Lord, I also present to you those who today face catastrophes, losses, material devastation, droughts or floods, and those working on response and reconstruction. Send resources, coordination, available hands, and generous hearts. May no one be left without help or forgotten. After the lights have gone out, give resilience to the people and wisdom to prevent, mitigate, and adapt, taking care of the creation you entrusted to us. I place before you the youth who dream of transforming realities and the elders who possess treasures of experience. May the dialogue between generations be a bridge, not a wall, collaboration, not competition. May schools and homes be seedbeds of virtue, and workshops and offices be spaces of respect and growth. Distance violence from language and gesture, and ignite in its place conversations that build and decisions that repair. And now, Lord, I ask that you make me a constant intercessor, not only with words but with actions. May my hands help, may my resources serve, may my time be offered, and may my voice defend those who cannot defend themselves. Do not allow my heart to harden before the pain of others, nor my comfort to make me indifferent. Give me eyes to see real needs, ears to listen to stories, courage to get involved, and wisdom to do it well. As I pray for peace, may I also build it. As I ask for justice, may I also practice it. As I ask for comfort, may I also comfort. Father, cover my community and the nations with your peace that surpasses all understanding. May your mercy cover streets, schools, markets, and homes. May your hope visit hospitals, workplaces, and decision-making spaces. May your truth illuminate consciences, and your love disarm resentments. Raise among us men and women who love the good, hate the lie, and work with perseverance. In the midst of our differences, may we learn to recognize each other as brothers and sisters, walking together toward a future where justice, compassion, and peace flourish. To you be the honor for what you will do and are already doing, because you listen, you answer, and you move with power. Lord God, this morning I present myself before you with the sincere desire to grow, to mature, to be transformed from the inside, so that my life reflects your work and your love. I do not want to settle for a surface-level faith. I want your truth to penetrate like rain, softening the earth and causing fruits of good character to sprout. Transform my mind, so that old thought patterns do not govern me. Renew my criteria, my motivations, and my habits, so that every decision comes from your wisdom. If I have lived on impulse, teach me the art of patience. If I have sought shortcuts, show me the value of the process. If I have measured my progress by what others see, remind me that the roots are more important than the appearance, and that the deepest work happens in the hidden places where only you see. Lord, I want to learn from you to think with hope and to choose with courage when thoughts of defeat arise. Remind me that you call me to life when comparison tries to shrink my heart. Remind me that I have a unique place in your plan. When doubts darken my horizon, place your light as a beacon and your word as a compass. Help me distinguish between what I feel and what is true, so that I do not confuse fleeting emotions with firm convictions. I want to exercise the discipline of pausing before reacting, of breathing, of asking myself what honors you, of acting not from haste, but from the peace you give me. May my thoughts learn to obey you like soldiers who align with the call, so that my mind may be fertile ground where your truth and peace flourish. Work also, Lord, in my affections. Teach me to love with mature love, patient, servant-hearted, persevering, forgiving without keeping score, asking for forgiveness without excuses, valuing people for who they are and not for what they give me. If I have loved possessively, free me. If I have loved from need and not from freedom, Heal my lack with your presence. May I honor healthy boundaries. May I recognize the time to speak and the time to be silent. May I know how to embrace and also let go when appropriate. In my relationships, may your meekness set the rhythm in my conflicts. May your truth be my guide in my reconciliations. May your mercy be the bond that mends what was broken. Lord, shape in me a character that is firm and flexible at the same time. Firm in the principles that cannot be negotiated. Flexible in the ways that can be adapted with wisdom. Give me persistence to maintain good habits when the emotions fade, and creativity to adjust the method without abandoning the goal. I want to be diligent even when no one is watching, generous when no one is counting, and grateful when the result seems small. Remove from me complaints that diminish me, excuses that stop me, and hardness that isolates me. I want to learn to celebrate small progress, to recognize my mistakes with humility, and to correct with determination without punishing myself with useless guilt instead of perfectionism that suffocates. Give me excellence that honors you, doing the best I can with what I have today while I keep growing. I also ask, Lord, for the gift of discernment to navigate a reality full of voices and proposals. Teach me to examine everything and hold on to what is good, to detect what shines but does not build, what seduces but does not benefit, what promises shortcuts but robs peace. May my ear be tuned to your voice, may my eyes recognize your signs, and may my heart remain sober when important decisions present themselves. May I not be moved by the fear of losing, but by the desire to obey you. May I not follow the crowd's rumor, but your counsel that endures. If I must wait, may my waiting be active praying, preparing, ordering, reviewing intentions. If I must move forward, let me do so with concrete steps, clear goals, and a teachable spirit willing to adjust when you indicate it. Lord, I also desire to grow in service. I do not want a faith confined to my own well-being. I want available hands, willing feet, and an attentive heart. Make me sensitive to real needs, the companion who needs a word, the neighbor who needs help, the person who is waiting for a simple gesture to remind them they are not alone. Teach me to think in terms of sowing. What I give today generously will multiply in silence. What I share today opens paths of good. Remove vanity from me that seeks to be seen and cultivate in me the joy of doing good in secret, knowing that you see and rejoice. May service not be a sporadic event, but a lifestyle small, constant, faithful. Within me, Lord, there are areas you know better than I do. Sometimes I find habits that resist change, thoughts that keep returning, reactions that surprise me. I give them to you. If there are roots of bitterness, uproot them with your hand. If there are wounds that still hurt, heal them with your comfort and truth. If there are promises I interpreted from impatience, teach me to rest in your time like the potter, who does not discard the clay that has deformed, but reshapes it with patience. Place me back on your wheel and mold me with hope. Do not let me go in the middle of the process. When I get tired, remind me of the purpose. When I doubt, remind me of your faithfulness. When I get distracted, remind me of my first love. I want to cultivate, Lord, practices that nourish my transformation. Give me order to separate time for prayer, silence to listen to your voice, and consistent reading of your word that forms me from the inside. May memorizing and meditating not be a mechanical task, but a living encounter where your truth corrects, encourages, and propels me. Teach me to examine each day with honesty what I did well, what I learned, what I need to adjust. May rest not be an escape, but recovery. May work not be idolatry, but an offering. May recreation not be excess, but true recreation for soul and body. Help me set concrete and loving goals, improve in punctuality, grow in listening, order my finances, take care of my health, dedicate time to family, learn something new, and may every goal be bathed in prayer, so that effort merges with your grace. Lord, when trials visit my life, may they not defeat me but refine me. If the door closes, may I learn to knock on another with resilience. If the answer takes time, may my hope grow deeper. If the path inclines, may my legs gain strength. May my faith not depend on feelings, but but on remembering who you are, remembering what you've done, remembering that your love does not change in the valley. May I practice gratitude that challenges complaining. On the mountaintop, may I practice humility that overcomes pride. May my victories not fill me with arrogance, and may my falls not drown me in despair. In both, may I look to your cross and find the measure of your love and the certainty of your presence. Teach me, Father, the language of meekness. It is not weakness, strength under control, not resignation. It is active trust, not passivity. It is self-control that chooses the form and the moment. May my voice rise without shouting. May my hands know how to work without competing. May my heart know how to decide without hurting. Make me quick to listen and slow to speak, quick to encourage and careful to correct. May zeal for the truth not make me harsh, and may compassion for my brother not make me ambiguous. Give me balance to walk with clarity and love. And if in my history there are chapters that weigh me down, I give them to you. I do not want the past to define my future. Give me the courage to close chapters with forgiveness, to learn from what has been, and to embrace what is coming. May my identity be in your word and not in my failures or my achievements. May I see myself as you see me. Work in me, beloved, called and equipped by your grace. Where there are unjust labels, remove them. Where there are promises I've forgotten, bring them back to my memory. Where there are dormant gifts, awaken them to serve better. I consecrate, Lord, my personal development to your glory. I do not want to grow to be admired, but to love better. I do not want to learn to win arguments. I want to learn to build. I do not want to be strong to impose myself. I want to be strong to hold others up. Make me a tree planted by streams of water, bearing fruit in its season, and whose leaves do not wither. May what you do within me be evident on the outside in my wiser words, my fairer decisions, my more serene reactions, my more generous hands, and may every advance be an act of worship. You began the good work, you sustain it, and you will bring it to completion, beloved Father. As I close this morning prayer, I leave before your altar every thought, every purpose, and every action I will take today, recognizing that under your covering, everything has meaning and direction. Thank you for reminding me that your mercy reaches me at dawn and that your faithfulness sustains me along the way. And may your peace guard my mind when worries arise. I have recognized your presence. I have drunk from your word. I have reviewed examples that elevate faith, and I have placed my decisions, my relationships, and my battles in your hands. Now, with gratitude, I begin this journey, declaring that I do not walk in my own strength, but in the power that flows from you. I thank you, Lord, because when I look at the path ahead, I do not see an empty field, but a road already visited by your goodness. If I must work intensely, I will do so with renewed enthusiasm. If I must wait, I will do so with active hope. If I must speak, let my words be extended, seasoned with grace and truth. If I must remain silent, let the silence be obedience and trust. Today is a gift, and as such, I receive it with responsibility and joy. Where my abilities reach their limits, may your power complete the work. Where my vision is short, may your wisdom extend the horizon. Where emotions fluctuate, may your love remain as a sure anchor. Lord, I allow this blessing to surround me and extend to those around me. May my home be visited by your peace. May weariness find rest and discouragement find comfort. May today's conversation build and not wear down. May laughter and sobriety alternate with balance. Guard my loved ones in their comings and goings. Protect them in their travels, in their tasks, in their decisions. Give us one purpose, diligent in doing good and constant in hope. And if something tries to disrupt the harmony, give me promptness to reconcile, humility to ask for forgiveness, and meekness to forgive. I declare, Lord, that over the projects of this day, your breath blows, opening doors of opportunity that no one can close, and closing with love those that do not fit. Give favor to those who must hear a proposal, clarity in numbers, precision in words, and creativity in challenges. Keep me from shortcuts that compromise integrity and from distractions that dilute the purpose. May I remember at all times that the greatest fruit is not applause but character-shaped. It is not haste but faithfulness. It is not appearance but truth in the secret places. And so, may every success be for your glory and every stumble an occasion for learning. May your protection, Lord, be like a wall around my thoughts and like shade on my path at midday. If worry tries to settle, may your peace guard me. If fear tries to raise its voice, may your perfect love silence it. If comparison tries to steal my joy, remind me that your call is personal and that there is room for everyone at your table. Give me prudence in my decisions, sobriety in my reactions, and serenity in my responses. May my hands open to help, may my eyes stop to see the one who suffers, and may my feet move swiftly toward the good. Lord, I take the promises you have sown in my heart, and I embrace them with confidence. I will not live waiting for spectacular signs, but I will stay attentive to your footprints in the simple, the advice that arrives on time, the door that slightly opens, the strength that returns after a pause, the rest that reorganizes me from within. Teach me to celebrate the small things without despising the process, to persevere without harshness, to correct without guilt, to move forward with firm steps and a clear gaze. Today, I choose gratitude as the language of my soul. Thank you for what was, thank you for what is, and thank you for what is to come under your guidance. And now, Lord, I extend this blessing over those who listen to or read this prayer. May the discouraged receive encouragement. May those seeking direction find light. May those needing provision find open doors. May the sick experience comfort and strength. May the home in conflict discover paths of peace. May wisdom descend on our communities to build and compassion to include. May justice flourish in the nations and paths of reconciliation be opened. May children grow protected, young people walk with purpose, adults work with dignity, and the elderly be honored and accompanied. I ask, Father, that everything we do today bears your seal excellence without vanity, humility without timidity, courage without aggression, meekness without resignation. May it be evident in the way we conduct ourselves that we have been with you, that it is clear in the peace we carry. May your presence accompany us. May it be noticed in our dealings. May your love transform us. Where others add noise, may we add clarity. Where others build walls, may we build bridges. Where others stop in fear, may we move forward with prudence and faith. And when evening comes, Lord, may the recount of the day be an offering. Tasks done with care, words that built, enlightened decisions, wise silences, and well-taken rests. If something is left pending, give us rest without anxiety and renewal to take it up again tomorrow. If today we saw your favor, may we not forget to give thanks. If today we knocked on a door that did not open, may we not lose hope. If today we faced a trial, may we remember that we are not alone and that we walk in the light of your promise. You guard our comings and goings now and forever. Your peace, which surpasses all understanding, guards our hearts and minds. Your love, stronger than any shadow, envelops us and propels us. May this blessing remain in us and spill over through us to every person we meet on the way. I receive this day as a gift and mission. I place it in your hands, and I place myself in your heart. I declare that your grace is enough, that your joy is my strength, and that your word is the lamp that guides my steps. Thank you for listening, for responding, for walking with me. I lift my gaze and move forward, not by my own merit, but by your faithfulness that never fails, in the powerful name of Jesus. Amen. If this prayer has touched your heart, I invite you to support this message of faith. Write Amen in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive new prayers that strengthen your faith each day. Share this video with someone who needs hope today in the comments. Leave your prayer requests and testimonies of what God is doing. Together, we form a community that prays, believes, and walks in faith. Thank you for joining us in this prayer. May the peace of the Lord guard your mind and heart, and may His favor open the way for every decision. We wish you blessings, health, dignified work, and lasting joy. If this prayer has blessed your life, click on the recommended video that appears on your screen to deepen in new biblical reflections and daily prayers. Let the Lord continue speaking to your life and renewing your hope. May God bless you abundantly.